Be ready. 5 seconds. Start. Sir, when one sees the estimates of the railways, one feels that the estimates are too much in regard to the foreign exchange component. I should congratulate the Railway Ministry for having spent less than the estimated amounts. But, sir, efficiency does not mean more expenditure. You may spend less and still you may feel very happy about it. Efficiency does not mean only a measurement in terms of money. Delays, inefficient administration, late running of trains, losses, delay in moving the passenger and goods traffic, all these contribute to a setback to national development as well as efficiency. Sir, so much has been said about coal and about the failure of the railways to transport coal. Coming from a place with the largest production of rice, I can say with great emphasis that in Andhra, for want of vegans, rice could not be transported to the south and to other places, especially Kerala. Not only rice, but with regard to articles like jaggery, charcoal, timber, firewood, and other things, there was a heavy blockade in Andhra as far as the railways were concerned. Sir, while talking about coal, many honorable members referred to Bihar and West Bengal. But I would like to mention a word about the coal mines of the south. For want of vegans, about 7 lakh tons of coal continued to lie at the pit heads, and all this could not be moved to the south, where there was a great demand for coal. The coal production in the collieries was according to the plan. It was not as if the railways did not expect or that the colliery product produced something more than the expected allotment, but the railways fell short of it. In this connection, sir, I would like to point out that when there is an uproar in Parliament in February over the shortage of wagons in the South Eastern Railway, instead of trying to solve the problem in a more practical and in a good way, immediately the railway minister said that he had switched off 150 wagons serving the colliery belonging to the Central Railway to the South Eastern Railway. If you want to solve a problem, it is not by creating another problem. The Honorable Deputy Minister seems to be very doubtful, but I can tell him that 150 wagons were removed from the Central Railways. Yesterday, the railway minister, while answering one of the questions, regarding the movement of coal said that it was not always the railway's fault. I do agree that it is not always the railway's fault. The whole difficulty is that there is no coordination between his ministry and the other ministries. He also suggested that they would like to divert some of the coal to road and waterways. I do welcome that suggestion. From today's papers, I find that the World Bank, the Planning Commission, and the Railway Ministry had a meeting with shipping companies who are willing to supply 24 more ships to transport a million odd tons of coal to the south. In this connection, I would suggest that transport by water costs rupees 37 more per ton. Secondly, the coal supplied through ships is not graded properly in the sense that it gets mixed up. When they supply it to industries, the latter do not get the proper quality, and what they get is not up to the mark. These things should be taken care of while diverting more and more coal towards the south through waterways. Sir, I have to say another thing. In the Niyogi committee, it was suggested that the railways should consider the question of their contribution to the general revenues. I do not say that the contribution from the railways to the general revenues is not good. It is quite welcome, but what I would suggest is that the railways can ill afford this much. Now that they have increased their dividend, they are not in a position to divert to that extent to the general revenues. If they have increased their dividend, it does not mean that the railways are prosperous. But what I feel is that the railways would do well to think twice about paying more because they have got any amount of work to be done in their own department. The dividend was increased on the understanding that there would be no change in the rates of freights, but the railways are not in a position to increase their freight rates because they have to face severe competition from other means of transport. Moreover, an increase in the contribution to the general revenues may affect national development. Therefore, I suggest that they should reconsider the decision about their contribution to the general revenues. Sir, the railways are a curious combination of a commercial concern and a public utility organ. On the one side, they have to spend more and more on the comforts of the nation, and on the other, contribute more and more to the national development. Stop.